All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody in the chat room, how's it going? Welcome to another Work After Hours live chat. Tonight with us in the chat, we've got Builder Shooter, as always.
Hey.
And we've got a special guest this week. We've got Manny from Manny Things YouTube channel. Say hi, Manny.
How's it, guys?
So, this week we're going to be doing our typical, news and just gun questions chat. But before we get going, I know that you guys have seen Manny in the chats, but I figured I'd give him a couple of minutes to tell you about his channel and just kind of how he got into shooting. Manny, you want to let him know?
Yeah. So y'all call me Manny. The channel Manny Things is a play on words. Manny is really many, and I like to do a bunch of crap. So it's kind of conglomerate to be able to do whatever I want with my channel and not get flack for it. Right now, it's a lot of shooting content and dry fire and some product reviews of what I've had at the house, but it'll be some camping vlogs and a lot more different stuff going on. But how I got into shooting is I started young age going out with my uncles. We'd go hunting, and not very frequent, but that was throughout my life. And then back a couple years ago, I really got into self-defense, started hitting the YouTube gun channels up and watching all that stuff. So that was good. I then really got into self-defense a couple years ago, but other than that, yeah, just been around guns my whole life.
Cool. All right. So as I said, we're just going to keep going pretty much with our general style of chat. Before we get into that, hey, everybody in the chat, we've got Professor Kathleen's in there. Locke is in the house. How's it going? We got John Jeffries in there. Let's see. Manny, you don't count because you're in here. Pistol Pete's in there. James Grafton's in there. Says Steven Crowder keeps freezing. Is it cold? I don't know. It's not cold anywhere anymore. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get into gun news. I only found one thing in the news for in news for guns this week. So Hornady has come out with a new round. Let me see if I can open this up here. Okay.
So I know what you're talking about.
The 6mm ARC. So they are touting 308 performance out of this thing, and it is a short action cartridge that should fit within the limits of an AR-15 lower. So you're looking at approximately 308 ballistics out of an AR lower. What do you guys think about yet another round entering this market? Because we've already got quite a few of these. What do you guys think about another one coming in?
To get a 6mm to give you 308 ballistics, you're going to have to get that thing freaking screaming, and you're going to have 22-250 problems with barrel melting, as far as I know. I mean, that would be my assumption.
So it does say that it's based off a 6.5 Grendel case.
Okay, so it's absolutely screaming then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to find a muzzle velocity here. I did not get a chance to really look at this a whole lot. Actually, Harry from Harry's Holsters was the first one to bring this up. He sent it to me earlier today, and then I was perusing my gun channel stuff. Let's see, or my gun news stuff. This kind of popped up in there. So it says here,
I need you to tell me more obviously in the chat. Tell me more about your Timberwolf frame, because I cannot respond to the chat because my computer's
that's
dumb.
true. You can't.
I don't know who I got it from, but he's dumb.
Hey Harry, we're talking about we're talking about the 6mm ARC right now. So looking at this, it looks like they're talking about muzzle velocities of about 2,700 feet per second. So it's not super.
So that's 308 velocity.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah,
it's pretty much 308 velocity. Translates to, and I don't see a grain weight on here. At 500 yards, it's still traveling at 1,900 feet per second. So it's still running pretty good out at that distance. If anybody knows the bullet weight to this thing, let me know, because I am not seeing it. But honestly,
it can't be super heavy. I bet they're 90s or 110s. But probably not more than that.
Professor said he saw 103 grains somewhere.
Okay.
Which sounds, that sounds about right. For a 308, you're looking at the 150-ish range. So, but I've actually been playing around with the idea of getting some additional AR uppers. I've been looking at, I don't know if you guys in the chat know, but I'm going to make this happen. We're going down to see Hootie Hoo later this year. And I got to get some big bore stuff to go down there because that's what he does. So I've been looking at like a 50 Beowulf or a 458 SOCOM, something along those lines. And so I'm hoping, maybe if I can get this thing, that'll be a nice little addition. Manny, do you do rifles much?
Yeah, I've dabbled in ARs. I've got a couple, but I haven't played much around with it other than playing with them and setting them up.
Do you typically buy ARs or do you build them?
I've got a built and a bought rifle. So my first one was a built rifle between myself and a local gunsmith, but I would definitely caution everyone just buy a good rifle instead of spending your time building one, though.
Yeah, if you
could definitely mess one up pretty easy building your own.
Yes.
I spent so much more money in changing crap out on them than if I just bought one. So
Professor says 450 Bushmaster in an AR. That was actually up there too. So 450, 458, or 500, or 50 Beowulf. So Harry says that I should show up with a single shot 22 short. I think this is a genius idea.
You better buy that LCP in 22 though.
I already own it. I just shot it for the first time on Tuesday. Dude, get one.
That's why I'm not happy with you. I just remembered.
Because you were down at the range today. I was supposed to go to the range with him today, and it did not work out as such.
Screw you. I'm out.
Oh, snap. He left me.
He really did leave, didn't he? I think he's swapping to the computer. At least I hope that's what's going on. Let's see. So Harry says ammo seems to be about $1 a round for the 6mm ARC. That is expensive in an AR.
That's a pass on my end.
Yeah, like with ARs, with a bolt gun, that's okay. But man, with an AR like that, I couldn't do that.
That's probably buying a factory round at $1 a round. You might be able to get that 75 cents, maybe 50 cents if you're making that your own.
Yeah. I mean, if it catches on, it'll drop drastically, but it'll obviously never be 5.56 prices. But
right, I don't want it to see it die out like the 224 Valkyrie is kind of flatlined now. Yeah,
the Valkyrie did not do well, did it? It didn't deliver on a single claim that it made, so that was unfortunate. Because that was
Federal's design, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Builder, do you remember who the 223 or 224 Valkyrie was? Was that Federal? I think you might be right.
I don't know. That was a stupid.
Well,
I know Mac liked it.
And I was like, "You're dumb," and you were like, "I'm not dumb for wanting one," and I was like, "Yeah, you are."
If it delivered on any of the claims, it wouldn't have been that bad, but it did not deliver. So let's see here. Yep, Professor says 224 was Federal. So, which is surprising that Federal would bomb that bad. I don't know if they could. Maybe the barrel makers just couldn't make quality barrels, but whoa! Somebody's fan just kicked in.
That was my computer.
Yeah, I figured it was.
Okay, at least
there you go. It's going away. It's fixing things. Okay.
But I don't think Federal had enough backing by manufacturers before they released the cartridge, so I think that's why it kind of died.
Yeah,
and its performance just didn't hold up.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't hit the ground running like they needed to, and even if they did, you're right, the performance just wasn't there.
To me, it's just kind of like the. As much as I think that 22 TCM is a really sweet round, and the 5.7 is kind of cool too, but if you were going to get an AR chambered in it, or if you're going to do varmint rifle or varmint hunting, why wouldn't you just do a 223?
Yeah,
right. The Valkyrie's kind of the same for me. You can do a 223. It'll stretch out pretty far. If you want to go farther, get a 22 250. I know there's not many AR pattern rifles in there, but honestly, why are you stretching out with a .224 projectile anyway?
Yep. So Kathleen's got a question. She says, would people use a pistol that had a polymer 80 frame or a Timberwolf or a custom slide for carry or home defense.
Without
So
hesitation.
I'm guessing it's more like she's asking, would you trust those or would it be advisable to use those? And either way, yes. My carry gun has a Norso custom slide on it.
My carry guns for years had work done on their slides. Now they don't.
Now, the only one of those that I might think twice about is the Polymer 80 frame, because not that you see a lot of problems with them, but you see far more problems with Polymer 80 frames functioning reliably than you do with like Timberwolf frames or like stock frames with aftermarket slides. The Polymer 80 frames, because it relies so much on you getting stuff right, is more likely to fail. But yeah, I mean, if you build a Polymer 80 frame and you take it out and you get 1,000 rounds through that thing and it runs like stock, run it. Pistol Pete says you need a Glock computer. You ever thought of what would happen if Glock actually made a computer?
Could you imagine how boxy it would be? I would love it. I would own one.
Every single key would have a gigantic bump in between it, so you couldn't like transition your fingers between.
You know, the G would be the Glock G too.
It would be the Glock G.
And your password could only be Glock is the best.
Yes.
You just had to switch like capitalization within that phrase.
Oh God.
So one of the guys asked me a question today because we were talking about carry guns. One of the guys at work did, and I said, a Glock is a great gun to start out with, and there's other options, but that's what I prefer. And one of the guys goes, I've never had a Glock, never shot a Glock. Are they really all that good? And I said, well, I've owned some. And I sat down and I was like, 1, 2, I've owned 15. I think they're okay. Number 15 comes tomorrow.
Is that the 45?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to shoot that.
I am too. I'm not sure if we're going to put this 407 that I had borrowed from you and you might not get back on the 34 or on the 45, but we'll see.
We should just start a rent-to-own program on that.
I need to just hide it somewhere for a couple of months, then you'll be like, I wonder if you paid me for that.
I'll just forget about it, honestly. I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten about that dot. I'm like, well, I've got 3 dots, so I need to buy another dot for the 19.
I keep thinking it's mine.
It might as well be at this point.
The screen's dirty. This is pathetic. Why am I treating... This isn't mine. The screen's still dirty.
I will say, I find the just grab one of the cloths and just shove your finger down there. Actually, get Caitlin to shove her finger down there because her fingers are going to be smaller.
I tried shoving my finger in there and it didn't fit.
Yeah, ask Caitlin to do it. Wife, can you help me? Let's see.
Kathleen's making me regret selling that Gen 4 and not getting a Timberwolf. But it's okay. I have a Gen 5 and it fits my hand.
Yeah.
It shoots really well.
You're getting a 45. Yeah. You're not even going to look back.
I have a Gen 5 17.
Yeah.
17 is the best gun.
What'd you say, Manny?
17 is the best gun. That's all you got to carry is a 17.
It's my carry gun. It is sitting right next to me in its holster right now.
Manny, what do you carry?
Very boring Gen 5 17 MOS with an RMR.
That's not that boring. You got
the exact same gun I had with a different optic. I like it.
Yep.
And then today actually my holster broke like last week.
Oof. Yeah, I saw that.
Philster sent me a new holster shell today.
Oh.
And that was freaking awesome. I mean, like, I sent him some pictures and told him, like, I think it was Memorial Day after Humble's chat. I was like, I'm going to inspect my holster. There's a freaking crack right by the wing. So I just sent messaged him and then had to email him and got a new holster.
Nice. I always forget about Philster for some reason, which is dumb because they're one of the...
They make an ambi holster.
Do they?
Yes. The Floodlight is ambi, and it's designed for either the X300 or the TLR.
Harry, it broke right on the side of the holster where the wing attaches, but I can actually run and go get it. But it's just in the gun room.
If you look on his Instagram, it's very clear. He took a very good picture of it.
Mm-hmm. But I love that what they redesigned the holster. But Philster, Darkstar Gear, and Henry's holsters are all like a conglomerate, really.
Oh,
where
really?
Henry Holster
Yep.
manufactures all their holsters and ships them out of there.
Hmm.
I think Tom from Darkstar Gear actually gets his holster shipped back to him, because when I got my competition holster from him, it actually shipped from, I think it was Pennsylvania.
Oof. Yeah, that broke.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your picture. It's dead.
I know Henry Holster makes a freaking sweet competition mount for a holster.
He
Oh, yeah.
does.
I have the turbo drop and his turbo props. And if you guys need the thumb screw like things, I have a couple still. So I don't need I bought a 5-pack and I only need one.
So do you shoot your 17 for competition?
Yep, competition and carry. I sold my 19 I had. It was a Gen 4. I had a trigger work on it, but it was a horrible gun. The thing still was. I hated the darn thing.
I've been there.
And so
Yeah,
I
you have.
sold that off. The worst thing I ever did, I sold a gun off to a gun store. Never do that. Unless you
ouch.
unless you need money, don't do it if you're just trying to sell a gun.
Yep.
Unless you trade it in, it's
what gen
okay.
you're running?
I run a Gen 5 now. My 19 was a Gen 4, but Gen 5 is much better. And I actually have a good Gen 5 trigger.
Yeah, they
Unlike
vary
other.
so much. And actually,
I was disappointed with my 17.
Yep.
It's no better than any Glock trigger I've ever had. Then I got my 34, and I was like, "Oh, that's better."
it's better
I'm
than
anxious to
40
see
by
what
a lot.
I'm anxious to see what the 45 does.
So I actually talked about that in the first shots video I did, because there's such a difference between your 17 and your 34 and my 19. Now my 19 is worn in,
It is.
but I don't think your 17 is ever going to get that. Not to that level.
It will, because it's going to be replaced by something.
Right. I got to get that done. Hey, chat room. So we have 4 Gen 5 Glocks to be able to do a straight up trigger comparison with. What triggers do you guys think we should check out and try to compare all together? We'll be able to give you guys a direct before and after, like a stock trigger, and then the modified trigger, and then compare all of these modified triggers together. Apex is already in the running because I'm there with my marketing group. I think I'm going to get a hold of Overwatch because I've already worked with them with the P10. So we got 2 slots left. Builder, what were we thinking?
You keep talking, and I'll look it up, because I sent it to you, but I don't remember what it is.
Weren't you guys going to do a tactical pontoon or something?
Yeah,
tactical pontoon would be ideal.
I need to write these down because I'm just going to forget.
Locke said Johnny Glock.
I'm not sure about Johnny Glock.
I can't stand
we can
Johnny,
put that in
so I'm just not going to do that one.
Doesn't he make hour-long YouTube videos or something?
He makes hour-long Instagram videos.
There's one by the name of Factor, Factr. I've seen several of the Instagram people's with them in their gun, and they look aesthetically pleasing, and they say good things about them.
You could also try Agency. I know they produce a very nice Gen 5
Agency was
trigger.
one of the ones that we were
Agency and Zev. I'd like to get either an Agency or a Zev.
I've seen Zevs make tuned Agency guns go fun switch.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They put some Zev. I think it was a Zev connector in a tuned Agency gun, and it went fun switch.
Sounds like something we need.
I remember seeing a video a couple years ago of a guy at a training class with a Zev trigger, and when he reholstered, the gun was empty, and he reholstered, and it was not drop safe, and it shot. I mean, dry fired.
Wow.
And
Who did that one? Who did that one?
That was a Zev.
Okay.
But I don't think it was properly installed.
Locke actually has a good recommendation here. What about a stock trigger that's been cleaned up? So
We'll do that on the 19th.
We're going to do this on the range. And no, I'm not. I was going to say, let's try that with your 17. We'll get a trigger for the 17 still. Don't get me wrong. But because it's the worst of them so far, let's clean it up and see what kind of improvement we can make if we can get it anywhere close to the other Glocks.
Let's see what happens after tomorrow.
It's good. Oh, right. That's a good point. Professor says, when did this become the Glock chat? When you got two Glock guys in it, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like other guns, but
I run a SIG now.
It's hard to beat a carry gun that you can legitimately shoot USPSA with and be competitive.
Mm-hmm. Now, mine's completely stock, minus the RMR, the CNH plate, and the medium beaver tail backstrap. That's all I've got on this thing.
Mine has a no backstrap, the CNH plate, and a Holosun 407.
Manny, did you use the coupon code Worth the Trigger for free shipping from CNH?
No, because I got them when they went discounted. No, I bought mine on the discount sales because.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I was like, I can afford this now, and
so you got a B3 plate.
Yep, I'm gonna send it in for a V4 though.
So Kathleen says, "Did you shoot?" Asking me if I shot my SIG yet. Oh yeah, I've shot it a lot. I shot, even with the old guys there, I shot 150 rounds on Monday or on Tuesday. I try to shoot quite a bit when I'm there trying to run through stuff. Like I've got the next range vlog that's coming out probably next week has shooting probably about 150 rounds through it. So yeah. I was prepping for a USPSA match this weekend that I now don't get to go to. So
you're not going to make me take a camera and film very poorly, are you?
I was going. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not going to do that to you.
Why can't you go to the match?
Huh?
Why can't you go to the match this weekend?
I have a funeral to go to.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, super fun.
Well, I mean, the only reason I'm not shooting a match this weekend is I'm actually going to a class tomorrow.
Ooh. What class?
I'm going up to Lake City, Michigan, and I'm taking Tim Herron's practical performance class.
Oh, that should be fun.
Mm-hmm. That's a 2-day, says 600 rounds, but I'm taking like 750. But it's like a 16 to 20 hour class.
Cool.
That's going to be kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's all about competition shooting. I think it's a full class of 12, so it's going to be a busy day.
So Kathleen says she's sick of shooting inside. So I know Builder and I have been shooting outside. Manny, are you getting to shoot outside or are you shooting inside?
I only shoot outside. I have family property.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've got family property. I'm working on getting a backstop built so I can have a little more space. But right now we're working on what I got 25 yards deep, but only like 10 wide, and it's going to go like to 15. I need to cut down 2 trees that are in the way. So that'll be fun. That's later this summer when family gets unbusy.
Yeah, that'll be nice though. And 25 yards that's pretty much all you need for pistol stuff.
Mm-hmm. No one does the family members don't do rifles, so it makes it quite easy. But it was a pain in the ass this week. The grass had been mowed and it already needed to be mowed again. So picking up brass was a pain in the ass. I had to be like,
you just started reloading, didn't you?
Yep, I have the press. I'm waiting on components still because Gallant bullets is like a 3-week lead time on bullets, and primers are scarce.
Did you ever figure out what to do with that the knob handle?
Big Johnson sent me a message and is a tire checker. I'm like, that's a great idea. I can mess somebody up with a freaking Dillon Precision ball handle.
There we go. This is the most expensive mess up you'll get.
This cost me $70.
Well, yeah, it was like the upgrade kit for that to get like the nice handle, the strong mount, and the bullet tray was like $150. So yeah, divide that by 3. That handle was expensive.
Oof.
I mean, I'm buying once, crying once. I was under, I think all my equipment, including my tumbler and other crap I've had to buy, I'm at like $1,700 for a very usable setup that's going to last me a while. So
yeah, you have a really good setup.
Yeah.
Yep, hey, I'm just waiting on the what is it? Oh, the case feeder. I called Dillon the other day and they said we're still waiting on parts, and I'm like, it's okay.
Pistol Pete's got a good option there. Put down a tarp. Yeah,
I think I should, but the problem is I do a lot of movement. I don't stand in one spot. I've built some shooting boxes, like the 2x2 foot square, 2 square shooting boxes, moving from one position to another. I have not shot a match yet at all in my life, but I'm pretty
You need to.
That was gonna be in March, but then Corona happened. I was going to have like 5 matches under my belt before this class, and I'm going to this match with no match experience, no classification, because I was going to get in a May match that was a classifier match, so it would have been classified by the time I went to the class.
That kind of sucks. Yeah, our matches are the first Saturday. So we skipped out on March because just there was a lot going on.
We're going to have a full year of them. We weren't worried.
So then Corona happened. So our first one is June, and I'm going to miss it.
Yep, same here.
Guess what day of the month the first Saturday is in July? It's the freaking 4th.
Oh, is it?
Yes. I'm not going to get to shoot a match until August.
I thought last year we did it on the second weekend or something.
They might.
No, that club is super busy.
Yeah, that club is so busy. They've got stuff every single weekend, and I think the second weekend is Steel Challenge. Now,
Steel Challenge.
Back to the subject of a tarp. Tarps work really well for pistol rounds. I've had several 223s burn right through them.
You could also get multiple tarps. I mean, Harbor Freight sells tarps for like $5 for a 7x7.
And sometimes the coupon is a free tarp, so just keep looking through those ads, and you can get a free tarp.
Tarp with a tarp. Hey, Jordan's in the house. How's it going, man?
Hey, Jordan.
We can get inappropriate though. I mean, if you got to take us there, we could.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're still getting comfortable with Manny here. we all still have pants on, so. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
The tarp. See, Locke, always there with the ideas.
I actually said that.
Oh, well, we ignored you. Yeah, you southpaw, stop it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some of our questions on this. So, the first one was brought up because I was looking through some gun news sites, and they had an advertisement for a grip tapey grip edition. So what are your guys' opinions on things like Talon grips? Talon, there's that like spider grip one, or that kind of the Hogue wraparounds. What do you guys think about those?
Funny you mentioned that. I was just talking to Humble about that the other day. So I was thinking about either getting my gun stippled or Talon grips, and he kind of swayed me to ignore both of them and go get some liquid grip for your hands.
Yeah, I actually have it. Dry hands right here.
Yep. There's a couple different brands. I think some are more expensive or cheaper.
It works better on plastic guns that don't have great grip. So like if you've got a steel frame gun, like a 1911 or a CZ75 base or something like that with like a solid set of grips, it doesn't really do a whole lot. But on plastic frames, or you could do what Builder and I have been talking about doing.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about doing silicon carbide. So that's still kind of in the back of my mind here, my brain space. But that'll probably, I got to test it out. Well, first I got to buy the stuff. Then I got to test it out on a couple of like AR-15 grips, and then on my shield, I think. But have you seen any of that, Manny?
Oh, the silicon carbide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people do that to their guns, actually. I mean, it's pretty interesting and pretty cool. I don't know about permanently modifying my gun, but...
Yeah, that's epoxy. It ain't going anywhere.
Right. And my only problem is I would totally like do something to my gun, but I have the freaking backstrap on it, and I freaking take it on and off like weekly to think, can I run it without it? But I need the backstrap because of slide bite. I can't do it.
Yep.
Without it.
Yeah, as far as the grip tape and stuff, I've never used it, so I don't have much experience with it. At one point I had a SIG 238, which is funny because I at one point carried a SIG 238, and now I carry a full-size Glock 17. But on that 238, I had a little Hogue overmold grip sleeve that went over the frame, and that was trash. But I actually had to use it upside down so my fingers could fit, because it has a finger groove in it. But other than that, I don't have much experience with Talons. I have a buddy that had bought a Langdon Tactical PX4. What's the little one?
Compact carry.
Compact carry. and it came with talons, and he didn't put them on, and I was trying to talk him into it just to see if he liked them, and he ended up putting them on, and he absolutely loves them. So on certain guns, I could see it being a benefit.
Mm-hmm. Or like on 1911s, if they don't have front strap checkering, you can always put it on the front strap and get good traction. I've done that. Yep. Exactly.
So
you can buy a skateboard shape super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, it's $5 for a whole sheet of it. So Locke says, can you put carbide over a stippled grip? So you don't put the carbide over the stippled grip. You actually grind or sand the grip down. So you sand that stippling off to get a relatively flat surface, and then you do it basically inlaid into the grip. So my thought on the grip tape, like on the talons and the Hogues and stuff, I have shot 3 guns with it. One of them I have owned. When I first bought my 19, it had a talon grip on it, and so for a gun that you don't use a lot, it's not that bad. However, I've noticed that when they get warm or under intensive fire, that grip, the glue starts to get a little bit mushy, and it slides. And so you end up having that whole grip slide down. Now, it doesn't make it so the gun doesn't work, but it's super freaking annoying because now you have like bare glue stuff on the grip of your gun, and you're like constantly sticking your hands in that stuff. So I don't know. If you're not going to do anything, or if you don't shoot enough to increase your grip strength, which is really where a lot of recoil management and holding onto the gun comes from. So, but you have to shoot a lot to be able to get that. So if you're not going to shoot that much, it's not a bad addition, I don't think. But you would be better off spending a little bit more time on the range and a little bit more money on ammo generally.
Yeah. Or even just in dry fire, in it. And like watch Humble's grip video that it takes like 30 minutes where he talks about from competition shooters, that really long video, and then he demos it at the end. It really can be helpful for a lot of people. I've watched that video 3 times, I think.
See, Kathleen's smart. She soaks all of her guns in virgin olive oil.
No, what about the extra virgins?
No, that's kept for the canics and stuff from Turkey. So
Wow,
it was too far, wasn't it? Pistol Pete uses KY on his M&P 2.0 to make it less abrasive. That's actually what I also use for my P10. My soft little child hands got hurt, so I put that on my P10, and it makes it much softer.
I did find a reason why you don't like Filster, though.
Yes?
They don't make CZ holsters.
Oh.
That's probably why I don't have one, and why I don't ever think of them.
DC Precision is a page on Instagram, and he makes open guns that are based off of Glocks, and limited guns that are based off of Glocks and stuff. And he just finished a carry optics gun for Noah. I don't know his last name. Humble could rattle it off. But he's a young USPSA shooter, and he is a badass. And he did the silicon carbide on the grip, and then he, when he was putting the carbide in there, he put a little bit of a red powder in it too, just to change it up. And man, it is absolutely beautiful.
I wonder. Hey, how's it going? Or is he talking to us? That's not nice. See now, thanks, Builder. Now I want a black multicam silica carbide grip on my CZ.
I'm going to send it to you.
Huh?
I'm going to find it and I'm going to send it to you.
Better. So do you guys think I should put black multicam on the slide of the X5?
Yes.
Okay, Manny said. I feel like we've had this conversation, right, Manny?
Yes, we have. And the bog. The bog's got to have it too.
Yes, that's right. That was the decision. It was both that and the bog.
Mm-hmm.
It is Manny Graynote.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I agree with you, Jordan. M&P 2.0 has the best texture.
It actually, yeah, it is really good.
It might be a little aggressive, and I mean, let's like a little bit of sandpaper to calm it down, but yeah.
There's a few guns out there with the texturing that is enough to hold your hand, and that is one of the few. That one, CZP-10s have good texturing on them. I actually think the Glock RTF2 Gen 3s have just amazing texturing on them. But I can see how in carry, they'll rub up against you and they'll rub your skin pretty raw. I kind of miss my RTF3 or RTF2.
Why'd you sell it?
Because I have a problem with Gen 3 Glocks. I get slide bite really bad on them. So
They don't make grip force adapters for those?
they do, but I hate that. Like, I just don't like those. I have small hands anyway, so the length of pull on the Gen 3 is like perfect. You start adding stuff to kick out that back strap and add that beaver tail in there, and it just doesn't fit me anymore. So I sold it, got a Gen 5, and I don't have the problem with the Gen 5. I did when I shot Builders 34. My first shot, I did feel the slide though on my hand. It didn't bite me, but I felt it.
Really?
Yeah. I told you, dude, I have a weird grip for Glocks. Like, my grip just does not work for them. I just have a weird grip in general, I guess, because nobody else complains that much about the SIGs, like the Legion, that rear ledge, and I hated that thing. After 100 rounds, it hurt. It doesn't anymore.
Oh, that is pretty, Builder.
Sorry, that took me forever to find, dude.
I was wondering what you were doing.
I was trying to send it to Manny, but it says his name instead of his
That's
tag, and I'm like,
We had that conversation last week.
one. Oh,
Because Instagram changed it to its programming, so if you have another name like in your bio on your page, it'll put that in direct messages instead of your tag name, which is a pain in the ass.
Yes.
okay.
Your name pulled up first, and I was like, well, that can't be him. So,
So,
Wait a minute.
Gray Note, you said the beaver tail rubs your hand raw on the Legion. It's because of that damn ledge. Go to my channel and look at, I think it's my second to the, no, is it my last video out?
Yeah, it came out yesterday, I think.
Okay, yeah, it's my last video out, dude. It's about a half an hour of just
He said he
sand
watched it.
and running through a couple of different sandpapers. But okay, you watched it, good, because that 100% alleviated it. Because I was having the same problem. The first time I left the range, my finger or my thumb knuckle was red because of shooting that thing. And now I shot more rounds through it this last range trip than I did the first one, and it's been perfect. So just do it, man. It's okay. So here's the thing: hand sand it. You got to hand, because I heard a lot of people telling me to use a Dremel on it. Don't use a Dremel. That
You lose your gun quick.
Yeah, it's way easier to mess it up. If you hand sand it, you can go really slowly. Just start with a really rough, not a really rough grit, but like a rough grit. So I think I started with a 500 and then worked my way up to 1,000 and then a 1,200 wet sand. And I did end up having to buff mine. I did use my Dremel to buff it with a polishing compound, but that was just to blend the color so that it didn't look, because when you sand it, it turns a little bit white. But dude, you need to do it because you're going to love that gun after that.
And I really think Sig, you're correct. Sig was just lazy and didn't want to clean off some flash off a molding.
You know, it's not a molding line though. It's an actual, like, it's a featured line in the gun.
That's
Like
crazy.
it's just weird. It's like they took some squared robot hand and stuck it on there and designed it around that, and then just never tested it after that.
Or maybe
I
did
wish
they
I would have
use
used it before. to see
You
if
would
it
think
would've-
that as many rounds as Max puts through guns, that he'd be like, "Hey, this ledge, not a great idea."
This is probably contoured.
Yeah, he has a gigantic monster hands too.
Mhm.
So
Well, maybe they tested European grips instead of us Americans with our grip.
maybe
Because I think
No, 'cause that
people
would've
over
worked
in Europe changed their grip up.
really quick gray note: it doesn't turn white; it gets lighter. So it turns from the dark tungsteny gray to a significantly lighter gray.
Until you polish it or buff it.
Right. And
Grino, what don't you like about the slide release?
what the slide release on what?
Graynote said his biggest concern is the slide release. So I was
Oh,
curious.
I love the slide release on the Legion. I can reach it. with tiny hands.
Oh, you know what I didn't realize until I got my 34 back from work?
Nope.
Was the fact that it has the extended ambidextrous slide release.
Oh, it does it?
All the other 34s have extended slide releases on it, but this has the extended ambidextrous one because it's Gen 5, and it is like the sweetest thing I've ever used in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then I put it away. I haven't even shot the gun yet. Work has.
I have. Yep, it's true. It was enjoyable.
It's number 3.
Oh, okay. So he's concerned about that ledge being there to keep your finger. So I didn't get rid of that ledge. I wish I could show you. I wonder, you know what, we're going to do something. It's not a whole gun. It's just a frame. So the contour spot is right here. I still have the ledge up here.
To see the firearm part of it.
Shut it. I still have the ledge up here to block you from putting your finger directly on the slide release. It's just this section down here that I cleaned up because that was right where it was hitting my thumb. Ha! Rules averted. And the live stream's dead.
No.
Okay, so sorry, going back into the wait, holster won't fit. Oh, won't fit your 34. Have you holstered your 34 yet?
It's a 34 holster.
Yeah, but it's not an extended ambidextrous slide release 34 holster.
It'll fit.
Okay.
He'll make it fit.
He'll
There's
make
a
it
Dremel.
fit.
Work will make it fit.
Gray Note, I almost did that. He says he may buy a regular X-frame module and experiment. That's not a bad idea, but the regular X-frame module won't sand quite the same. It'll sand a lot easier. That tungsten in the Legion frame, that was the hardest polymer I have ever had to sand for gun stuff. So, okay. Anyway,
we were talking about the silicon carbide stuff. Burke was talking about getting an X5 module just in case he messed something up.
I was indeed. That's the nice thing about the Legion, or about the SIGs, is if I bone up my Legion frame too much, I can just go buy a new one. I mean, it ain't cheap. It's $350, but I can still just go buy one. Hey, Anthony, how's it going, man?
We'll start a GoFundMe for work screwed up.
Yeah.
Works whoopsie daisy
To
fun.
be fair, if you do that on a Glock, you can send the frame back to Glock and pay them like $150 and they send you a new one.
That's true.
Does it keep the same serial number though, or is it?
I don't believe. I don't know. Can't say. It'd be cool if you could.
Mm-hmm. I have a thing about my barrel and my frame and my slide and my slide all matching.
Ooh, Gray Notes just piqued my interest. You can get the Legion frames for $220 without the weight and the magwell. So I'll just pull the weight out of the old one, and I don't need the magwell. So, and he says,
Gray Note said you do lose your serial number.
So you wouldn't have a numbers matching one anymore.
No.
Well, I guess on the American ones they aren't numbers matching anyway because the slides aren't numbered, correct? It's just an imported one.
I don't know.
You don't have a what?
I don't have an American Glock anymore.
You don't?
No.
How are none of yours made here? That's crazy.
This was in Austria. The
Yes, you
34
do.
was Austria.
Your 43 is American made.
Is it?
Yep.
It's
They
not
can't
gun.
import those. Or no, it's just the 380s they can't import. It's the 42s.
Mm-hmm.
But I would still bet that your 43 was American made.
I don't know. I don't like it enough to go find out.
And 220 is actually a
Slides are
reasonable
numbered.
price to get
Yeah.
your module replaced.
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean,
Kathleen, you are saying
350
something
I wouldn't
that
be mad about.
everybody should say.
Yes.
Get an LTT.
Right.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
A Beretta.
I need a 92. I honestly can't believe I've made it this long without one. Andy, do you have a 92?
Nope. It's LTT's on the list. I'm even thinking about the compact carry with the MOS plate on it. But maybe by the time I want to get one of those, I can get CNH to put a proper plate on the darn thing.
Well, your CNH plate will fit on that gun.
I don't know. Well, I don't know how LTT mills in to accept the MOS plate because of the curvature of the slide. Because it kind of just like sits on top. It's not in the slide.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how the contours of the C&H plate would work with the slide.
Yeah.
But I think C&H, didn't they come out with something new like yesterday or today?
I
The
haven't tried.
509 plate.
Oh, did
Oh,
they?
right.
So there is a company, and I don't remember the name right now, but when I found out, I was like losing my mind. There's a company, if you get the LTT or a normal 92 platform, you can send them your frame, and they will mill off the back of it, and they will make it a Vertec frame. And it's fairly reasonable too.
That's not bad.
I'm very tempted to send mine out so I don't buy another Beretta.
I've actually got a buddy who's going to turn his 92 into a Samurai Edge 92. The gun from Resident Evil.
Googling.
Sorry, I'm just reading Kathleen. Her next gun is going to be a Taurus Judge with pearl handles.
Yes.
I actually had a coworker the other couple months when this big gun buying craze was going on. He bought a Judge, and he took it to a gunsmith who I told him not to take his gun to because he's going to wait forever. That gunsmith had one of my guns for over a year until I walked on his doorstep with the lawyer, and I got my gun back. So
That's a beautiful gun. Sorry.
Which one? Sorry.
Samurai Edge.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
honestly
like the one from Leon the Professional.
Ooh. Okay. That's cool.
So we had some, just to get off subject really quick, because I
Go for it.
have a point with this. We had some protesting this week, and supposedly we had a bus full of protesters coming from a larger city, and they're being dropped off supposedly at an intersection between the interstate and a major or in a highway. And my parents live 2.5 miles up the road from that intersection. So this is at 10:45 at night. So I call my parents and wake them up because they're older, and I'm like, "Here's the deal. You know, supposedly this bus got dropped off." I'm like, "You know, you're obviously your doors are locked anyway, but if you don't mind grabbing a rifle and bringing it upstairs, I sure appreciate it." And Dad's like, "Yeah, I sure will." And so I talked to him the next day, and he's like, I didn't grab a rifle. I just had the Judge. I'll be fine with the Judge."
Oh no.
He said I had my Judge and I had my shield. Oh, Dad.
Did you make fun of him for that?
No. He'd do all right with the shield.
Pistol Pete says, "Who's paying for the bus?"
Yeah.
No clue.
Well,
Wish
the bus
we knew.
didn't actually end up coming. So, but you can
Yeah,
imagine who would pay for the bus.
I don't know if the bus came to either spot, but well, you know that Josh said they're looking at. I'm sorry, somebody said that they're looking at Saturday night now. So, so you guys were talking about LTT 92s because I am me. As much as I want an LTT 92 builder, you know I'm not going to buy one.
No, there's no way you would.
You know
There's no way I would.
I'm gonna make it instead. I'll just buy the 92 and get all the parts, and
We're pretty close with mine.
we are pretty damn close. Your 92's got a good action inside it.
I think the real thing that makes the LTT 92 so great is the getting it MP3 coded out there, and so good.
You can get MP3 coded parts though.
Yeah, you could probably order all the parts,
but it's ridiculously expensive.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can get your parts MP3 coded, or you can get Beretta MP3 coded internals from them. I think. So
yeah, it's part of their. I think it's their Stage 2 trigger kit.
Yeah,
maybe,
which is expensive, but it's not as expensive as an LTT gun. So. So Grayno, this is interesting. He said he got bad vibes from a guy yesterday at the range. Well, from a dude, an infected butt hair. Anyway, he was 6'4" and maybe weighed 140 pounds soaking wet. Very tatted, hard to get the age of, and a mouthful of rotten and missing teeth. He kept waving. That would make me nervous too.
We have. I know that one of the guys that's on the board with our with our little club that we're part of, and that does not last very long. Like, he probably wouldn't be able to come back, like, ever. So that's the nice thing about our club.
Mm-hmm. The closest indoor range to me when I used to go shoot there always had people like that. Hard. It was like always bad vibes. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do what I needed to do and get the heck out of here.
Yeah, that's kind of the way our indoor one is. I mean, it's not bad, but it definitely, you get a very wide variety of people at our indoor range. Don't get me wrong, I love our indoor range. If you're in the Lafayette area, head there. But if it's between indoor and outdoor, I like outdoors not only because of the freedom that it gives you, but there's so very rarely other people there. And when they are, they're good old boys who are shooting like Ruger Mark series from 25 yards or something. Okay, so next question. Now, this one is because of the new gun that I just recently got. So I just got the LCP2 in 22 long rifle. I already own a Ruger LCP2 in 380. Now my question is 22 an acceptable self-defense round when compared to other rounds such as a 380? What do you guys think?
Oh man, hold on. Gray Knot had more to the story.
Okay. Where is it? Oh man, he's got a lot more to the story, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Where's my mouse? That's the beginning of it. Okay. Let's see. He says
That's the middle part.
he kept waving around a 7-inch AR pistol with a binary trigger. Ultimately, he shot a dude yesterday. What?
At the range?
Fired one round in binary mode, held the trigger down so that it wouldn't reset, and proceeded to get behind the line to walk to a different bench. He ended up releasing or resetting the trigger to fire a second round into the bench, which a guy behind the line caught quite a bit of lead. The man took off running. He followed with binoculars to get a plate number. He, for some reason, didn't want to stick around for the authorities. He came back to render aid to the other dude. Fortunately, only tissue wounds or injuries. One fragment shattered his eye protection. There you go. Always wear eye pro. Vibes certainly are there for a reason. Man,
Yes.
that story got intense there, didn't it? Jeez. I must admit, I did not expect that ending to the story. Anyway, so is 22 an adequate self-defense round when considering subpar calibers? So, like, we all know that 22 is a subpar round for something like self-defense. But is it acceptable when looking at other subpar self-defense rounds? What do you think?
Well, are we
years
talking
ago,
just long
absolutely
rifle?
not.
Or are we talking 22 mag?
Just long rifle. 22 mag is an acceptable self-defense round, in my opinion. Just long rifle for this one.
10 years ago,
maybe.
I would say that 22 was 100% not acceptable for carry. Today, I have less of a problem with it. The rounds are getting more reliable.
Yep.
There's a greater availability of reliable rounds, reliable firearms. And also, the past year, I've been listening to a bunch of true crime podcasts, and almost every one of the people killed in there is with 22s. So,
yeah, 22s are used in more fatal shootings than any other caliber. Now, there's a caveat on that. 22s are also more readily available. So not only are they used in more deadly interactions, they're also used in more non-lethal interactions, more everything. They're just used more often because they are more popular. But
everybody has a 22.
Right. But that being said, so for me, well, Manny, what do you think?
I would probably carry a 22 long rifle, maybe in like an 8-shot revolver. Was it? I think the LCR comes in an
That is
8-shot.
a sweet shooting gun.
I would carry it in that because you can have so many rounds in a smaller package. But if
and
it
if
was
one doesn't go boom.
right. But Grey Note makes a great point. Rimfire primers are also not very reliable. It's kind of one of those things you got to think about too.
Yeah. Yeah, and so to me, the 22 round is 380s tend to have two different problems. And I'm going to basically because you got 380s, 32s, 25s. 25s are a freaking joke.
Mm-hmm.
Can we all agree on that? That's a joke of a round. 32, which oddly enough, I'm pretty sure 25 was the original caliber that James Bond used. 32 is it's okay. I actually, from what I understand, I've never used a 32, but from what I understand, its terminal ballistics actually end up slightly better than 380, despite being a smaller projectile.
When in the movies, when Bond switched from the 25 or whatever it was
Yep.
to the 380,
Yep.
Q told him that it was going to hit like a freight train.
I know. Oh, and he said it uses the 9mm Kurtz round, which is short in German.
Which is a 380.
Yep, it is indeed. So, Jacob, knock it off with the 22 ACP is the best crap. Anyway, so I think 380 has two different problems. You've got in hollow points, they don't have enough velocity to consistently expand. And with full metal jackets, they have too much velocity and they end up almost always just straight penetrating or just they just don't do a lot in the wound channel. With 22s, however, the hollow points with 22s tend to be fragmenting. So, and they're going fast. I mean, the 22s that I was running had a their advertised velocity is 1,200 feet per second. They're obviously not getting that out of an LCP, but still, they're going quick enough that they are going to. We can test it. We should do that. But is Professor heading out?
Yep.
Have a good night, Professor. See you, man. But yeah, I think nowadays 22, as far as ballistics wise, is an adequate round for self-defense if you're looking at one of those subpar calibers. Now, then you got to take into consideration the primers and the reliability factor with 22. And there again, you've got two different kind of versions of 22s. You've got what we shoot, the bulk crap ammo. I shot a bunch of Remington Golden Bullet 525 round bucket rounds through it, and I shot about 3 Thunderbolts mixed in. The Thunderbolts didn't run. They didn't have enough velocity to be able to cycle the slide. The Golden Bullets did fine. I ran, I think, 5 or 6 mags through it, and the Golden Bullets were great. So if you get a gut or a round that it likes with a good primer, so I would suggest going higher end with not the bulk stuff, but the individual stuff like the CCIs. If you get a decent box of CCI ammo, I would be hard pressed to tell you that you'd be better off with the 380 version, especially after shooting the 22 version. I could put 10 rounds on target fast with the 22 version. The 380 gun sucks to shoot. Have either one of you guys shot a 380 LCP?
Yep.
No,
Okay.
I have not.
They suck. I mean, they're super snappy, uncomfortably snappy. Kathleen, yes, I have shot it, and it's a fun little gun. There's a lot of different reasons that I got it, and it's pretty awesome. Great Note says his wife's first cousin got shot 6 times in the chest with a 22 revolver. He was wearing a leather jacket. He's a big dude, nothing anywhere near penetration. That's pretty interesting. So Jacob says micro carry pistols in 380, 22, 25 cater to carrying in a less than efficient manner. Caliber doesn't matter if you can't deploy and use the pistol in an efficient manner. I agree. That's why, to me, like the reason I own the LCP is actually it's a backup gun. It's never a main gun. If I need something small, I carry the 365. That being said, if I absolutely have to conceal, I can do it with the LCP. Even the 365 is a little bit iffy.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, the LCP just, I mean, you can disappear that thing.
So now that you have two LCPs,
Yep.
LCP2s, which one are you going to carry as your backup?
The 22 version needs a lot more testing. If the 22 version tests adequately, then hey, wheeled and well armed, how's it going? If it tests adequately and I can trust it, I'll carry the 22 over the 380. I think, specifically because of shootability of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always carry a backup gun for yourself, and I would be concerned handing the 380 LCP to somebody else and trusting them to keep a good grip on it. The 22 version, you don't have to do that. Like it's way easier to hold. Hey, Shooting Gallery New England, how's it going, man?
My brother-in-law has the LCR 22. He actually bought it for his mom to have in her purse, and she didn't want it, so she gave it back to him. And we've taken out, shot it, and it is so much fun. I mean, the LCRs are notorious for a very nice double action pole. And when you have a very nice double action pole with a round that has very little, if any, recoil, you can just, 25 yards on little steel targets, ding, 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 you know, as much as you want. And it is a fun gun to shoot.
So Harry says the problem with the LCR 22 is the trigger is so heavy. I think Harry and I were just talking this earlier this week, and his LCR has a trigger pull weight of like 12 pounds.
Oh, this one definitely does not. This one's a whole lot lighter than my, or not a whole lot lighter, but just a touch heavier than my Beretta, I would say.
So let's find out what the LCP 22 has. This is the nice part about doing this at my workbench.
Bang!
It's right. It's got a trigger pull safety, and those are always difficult to get decent trigger pulls on. 6 pounds. And honestly, 6 pounds isn't bad for what it is.
No, considering the first LCPs were like 20 or 30 pounds.
Yeah, actually, I've got one of those I could test too, but my trigger pull gauge doesn't go up high enough. So the one downside to the LCP2 in 22 is it has a magazine release safety. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get rid of that because I hate those. It does also have a manual safety. I dislike that less though, because first of all, as is typical with Ruger safeties, it's actually rather hard to put it on, and it's easy to click it off. But for what a lot of people are going to use that for, and that would be purse carry, you have to have a manual safety. You have to for that. So, and as normal, it does come with like the little pocket holster thing. So, Locke says, I said, airsoft gun.
Mm-hmm.
Locke, did you totally miss it when I took apart the Legion and had the Legion frame sitting up here?
See you, Grey Note. Catch you later, man.
Oh, Grey Note said, see you, man. Have a good night. Let's see. So, going back through the chat a little bit.
Jacob had a good point, and it's a very, and I said it in the chat, but it's very underappreciated and under talked about gun is the Car CW380.
That's true.
It's freaking tiny, and then I re-upped it and said the CW9. It's smaller than my 43. I think the CW9 is about the same size as the 42. And those are just sweet guns. Also, now that I said Glock 42, you can get, I know Lone Wolf sells a 9x18 conversion barrel. So you can shoot Makarov in your 380 Glock 42, which is a step up in power. So you have another option there.
So Harry says that he'd like to get the 327 LCR.
Mhm.
I actually would love to shoot one of those. That little round seems actually kind of cool.
Quick.
That'd be a neat novelty gun, though.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's see
A
here.
revolver that small with 6 shots is definitely something to be looked at.
Yeah, and 327 is not a round joke about either. Like it's not.
No.
It's not one of these 100-pound rounds like we're talking about with the 380s, 32s, 25s. Like that's an adequate round. Harry says the Glock 42 is the king of 380s. A little larger, but so shootable.
He's
See,
not wrong.
I disagree. I would say the Smith & Wesson Shield 380 EZ is the king. It's not much bigger. It holds, I think, the same amount of bullets or even more. I think it's an 8-round.
More. Yeah.
I think it holds
Like 8. And the wife bought that for her first gun back in October, and that thing is very pleasant to shoot.
Okay, I have to agree with Locke here. We forgot the car still existed.
Everybody does.
I do that all
The
the
only
time.
reason I remember car exists is because I watch Blue Bloods, and that is Donnie Wahlberg's character's gun. He carries a single stack, or I think it's single stack or double stack car.
I don't think they make double stacks.
Well, maybe it's a single stack then. But he doesn't change his magazine ever. So,
Well, there you go.
Magic.
but I mean, I love that show. I mean, if you want to watch an interesting cop TV show that's pretty political and interesting, Blue Bloods with Tom Selleck, Donnie Wahlberg, very good show.
I will throw in another top contender for the king of the 380s, and it's because I owned one and I swore by it, and I continue to swear by it. If you want to carry a 380, and that is the SIG 238, because it is a little bitty gun that doesn't know it's a little bitty gun, and it shoots like a big gun.
See, I didn't like the 238. It hurts my hand.
Wrong.
How? You have tiny hands. How does it not
You
work for your
You
hands?
probably get a full grip
No,
on
I
it.
said it hurts my hand. 380 is just a snappy round. It's so snappy.
Now, the 938, I think, is a royal piece of crap.
Yeah.
The 238 is a nice little gun.
Holy crap. Okay. So I think Jacob, first of all, thank you for the super chat, man. Let me toss that up on the screen here. So he says
The
the
yeet cannon.
Mark.
That's the yeet cannon.
I can't even think of what that is, and which means he's going to probably pull that back.
It's,
But
it's the full-size double stack H&K. Think of an FNX 45, but envision it as an HK decked out for Navy SEAL use. And then HK was supposed to do a photo shoot with High Point when they released the Yeet Cannon, and they were going to make one Mark 23 with Yeet Cannon on the side. There was actually a website you could go to, and it would pull up the two of them.
that's a good looking gun. Sorry, now I'm just looking at gun. It's so like I don't
It's
know.
so big.
That's what I think of when I think of H&K though. It's like basically that.
Harry, that's a very good movie as well. Work, you need to put that on your list, and we can watch that and do our movie review on that
Okay.
movie. It is
Did we
wonderful.
Did we talk to them about that to the chat?
You know,
I don't think we did. So hey, chat. Well, let's get caught up first, and then we'll go to that. Let me toss that in the end of our show notes. Actually, I'll just toss that next up. Read the chat for me.
yeah, it's going fast.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I am thinking of the
Well, it is a super
938,
spicy
38
pistol,
mixed up.
but
in my
if
head.
you're prepared for it, it's different. I wasn't prepared for it when I shot it because I'd been used to the luxury of the 238 at the time, and then I shot the 938, and I was like, ugh,
I'm sorry. Can you make that sound again?
ugh.
Okay, thanks.
Somebody record that and use that as their ringtone, please.
Yes.
Oh, it's recording right now on the YouTubes. All right. Okay. caught up with the chat for the most part. So, what I wanted to bring up was we are considering this. So, every other week, we're considering making the first 15 to 20 minutes of the chat a gun review, a gun movie review. So, basically, we will assign a gun movie. You'll have 2 weeks to watch it, and that includes the people in the chat and anybody in the chat room that wants to be able to BS with us about it. And in 2 weeks from then, the first 15 to 20 minutes of the chat is going to be a gun movie review. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys think that would be kind of a fun little twist on live chats, kind of get an interactive thing going on. And then, if you want to toss in some movies that we should toss on that list. Let's see, what was it Tears of the Sun that was on there?
These movies should be easily streamable, though. I shouldn't have to look too hard for it.
Yeah, and preferably
Kathleen says
free
no.
to stream. Huh?
Kathleen's a hard pass.
Kathleen, come on. You can watch gun movies with us. It'll be fun. Oh.
Yes!
Lock in
Top
with
of
the
list.
win.
Please, top of the list. We have to watch that one first.
Is that even a gun movie?
They have pretty
Do
cool
you
guns in
not
that
remember
movie.
the basement scene?
No. Do you have any idea how long it's been since I've seen that movie? I swear I watched that movie in like late middle school. It's been
Reba McEntire dual wielding semi-auto micro Uzis.
okay. That's fair.
Against the Tremors?
Yeah, when they're in the basement.
It's been a while. I think I've seen the first one. I can remember that one pretty well, but
That's
after
it.
that, I'm like, they started mutating, and I was like, okay, this is
Oh,
getting a
there's
little
like
out
10
there.
of them now.
What the heck is the Strike Back series?
I don't know.
Okay. Ooh, Wheeled and Well Armed is going old school.
I've never seen Reservoir Dogs.
You haven't?
If you haven't put a
one
count
that I've
on the
seen and you
list,
haven't. Take that. Still
Gotta get the accountant on there.
Movies.
Yes, and I haven't seen The Accountant either, but I heard it's wonderful.
I just saw it. It's good. Kathleen is still protesting. Kathleen, I promise it'll be relatively short, and it's only every other week.
Jacob, the 375 H&H is a fun round to shoot.
Which one?
375 H&H. I can legitimately say it's the only gun that I closed my eyes when I pulled the trigger.
You haven't shot a 22 TCM inside yet. Shit, you not flinched every time.
I closed my eyes out of fear, not out of flesh. Like,
Okay,
oh, this is
that's
going
fair.
to kill me. Bang! That wasn't bad.
Did Kathleen just suggest Gone with the Wind? Oh.
Harry's
Ooh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's a good one.
that is a pretty cool one. That's like ultimate gun room status, but that's like called Gun House or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who I would rather be in that movie. Would I rather be Angelina or would I rather be Brad Pitt?
If they switched Brad Pitt out for anybody else, I think I'd want to be Brad Pitt. but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can I
not
be?
Brad Pitt.
There's a joke in here about being Brad Pitt, so you're married with Angelina. I can't say it. Obviously, I'm married, but let's see. Dirty Harry. I have not seen an entire Clint Eastwood movie. That's sad, I know. Oh, Kathleen says Brad Pitt sucks. He's definitely not my favorite person.
I really want freaking Black Widow to come out. I'm like waiting for that.
I
movie.
was so hoping that was going to come out on Disney Plus. I had my fingers crossed for that, and nothing.
Artemis Fowl looks good. I want to watch that as soon as that drops on Disney Plus, though.
Which one's that?
That is some Disney. It's some TV. It was a book turned into. I think they're doing a series on it on Disney Plus now. The trailer for it looked pretty cool.
I'm excited for Mandalorian Season 2 to come out on Disney+.
Me too.
I still haven't watched season 1.
Well, just wait as long as you can because it's really disappointing that you get
Yep.
to the end. Like, what?
Yeah, you're definitely going to be frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Disney was smart though to do episodes that aired weekly instead of binging the
Yeah.
whole season. They're really smart on that aspect to keep getting people to come back every week and keep getting views.
We've been watching one of their cooking shows with the kids, and that's a fun thing to just do once a week.
And like on YouTube, half the time I'm watching Hell's Kitchen episodes, and those are fun to watch. If you've got like at work, I just put it on in my pocket and just listen to Gordon Ramsay yell at people and call them donuts and donkeys.
I'm also excited for the next season of The Witcher, but I have to wait a long time for that one.
Oh.
Still haven't watched Witcher either. It didn't look good to me. I didn't like the video game, so I guess maybe I'll give it a shot.
Video game.
I haven't seen it either.
I'm not a big video game person either, though. I sold my
The
console
Witcher
years
though is
ago.
good. Like you don't need to like the game. You need to like what's that genre?
Like Game of Thrones.
Fantasy. Yeah, you have to like Game of Thrones, that kind of thing to like it. But if you like those, you'll like Witcher.
I have not finished Game of Thrones either. I did not watch the last season yet.
I watched about half the first season, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just wait until it's all done. And then it got done, and apparently the ending sucks, and I'm like, now I just don't care.
I should send you all of like season 1 through 6 on DVD though, so you can watch that. Yeah, I have all those on DVD.
Nice.
They were a pain in the ass to get though. I mean,
I bet.
I found 2 of them. I think I found 5 and 6 together at like Meijer one day, like last year, and I'm like, these are mine.
Wait, what's freaking raw? What is Jake? Oh, punch salmon.
Yeah, it's the thing Gordon Ramsay does. He'll punch fish and stuff.
Oh.
It's fucking raw.
Right, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay, so
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think it's been officially decided that we're going to do every other week. We'll do some type of movie, quick gun movie reviews. So anyway, what were you going to say, Manny?
Or you could also pick apart gunfight scenes in movies, like do a 5-minute clip and pick it apart, and like this would never happen. Like John Wick, you could really go through John Wick and like pick apart crap. Like I think Larry Vickers did a video about that shit.
What builder?
There's a bunch of people doing that right now.
That's true.
Kindergarten Cop is a gun movie though.
Oh, Kindergarten Cop.
I do Kindergarten Cop.
Kathleen brought up a movie that's not a gun movie, but Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I think Joe Manganiello's in that movie, and that's why I'd watch that movie.
I love that movie.
She also brought up Legally Blonde.
Nice. See, Kathleen's winning.
I can't remember that movie. That's the one about the blonde goes to college, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And then the second one, she goes to like Congress or something, or
that I have no idea. There was a second one. I don't know these things. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our. This is just the last question I've got because, I slacked this week. So, okay.
Because I'm tired.
So this last question is titled "Gun Life After COVID." So, do you guys think that the gun culture has been reinvigorated, or will there be new gun owners now? Are we getting an influx into the gun owner culture, or will there be an influx of used guns on the market in 6 months? A whole bunch of people who go right back to being adamantly anti-gun and being negative about it. What do you guys think?
I think that there might have been a better chance of the second one where everybody was going to, or people who panic bought guns were going to sell them back. I think there might have been a better chance for that before the past 2 weeks, or even the past 1 week. But between COVID, everybody freaking out and buying guns about COVID, and then
Riots and stuff.
and then the riots and police departments basically saying, we can't come to your house and help you. You're on your own because we're trying not to die as is. I think it, unfortunately, I don't like the way we got there, but I think it actually is a good thing for the gun community, because I think that people our eyes are being opened to the fact that well, if the police can't come and help me, maybe I have to be able to defend myself, and maybe I shouldn't get this gun back, or maybe I should shoot it. Maybe I should train with it. But I don't know. That's just my little pea brain thinking.
Yeah, I think that we'll get an influx in. I think all of it's going to happen. I think you're going to get people who jumped in and ended up liking it. You're going to get people who bought just to buy and have it, and they'll just keep it, and it'll end up, just collecting dust. And then you're going to have the people who bought it to have it, and then say, well, see, I didn't need it anyway, and just go sell it and go right back to being negative. And honestly, I have a feeling that because they get to that point, then they turn around and sell it. I think their attitude is going to completely 180 so far the other direction, because they're going to go straight to the, see, we didn't need it. And that's kind of one concern that I have, is that they're going to use that as the reason why we don't need it. So, because I don't trust people to make smart decisions.
Right.
People notoriously don't make smart decisions.
Yeah, like go ahead. Sorry, Work.
No, go ahead, man.
Well, in my personal experience, I actually have a family member who bought a gun thinking, it's going to be the end of the world. And actually now I'm able to take him every other week to my private range and teach him a little bit, get him up to speed a little bit. I don't think he'll be a full enthusiast like we are, but he'll at least be able to be competent and get himself through. He's learning fairly well, so. But I can see where a lot of people will sell them or just throw them in their sock drawer and forget about them.
Yeah.
But if you forget about them, sell them to me. I'll buy them.
Right? I can't tell you how many people I'm like, no, just sell it. Sell it to me. Oh, man, that whole
You'll
thing.
pay more than a gun store would.
Yes, that is the truth.
But if I can get a smoking deal, I will get a smoking deal.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. So,
I know what you have there, and I'm excited.
this is my new toy that I got this week. So,
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our
New toy. So, y'all remember a couple of weeks ago when we were BSing in the chat about home defense and optimal home defense, and somebody said, "Hey, what about a can cannon?" Guess what we got?
Bingo!
So this was sent to me by F5 Manufacturing. This is actually the OEM manufacturer of the can cannon. Now, this is not the can cannon. This is the can launcher. But they sent me this thing, and well, Builder and I are going to try this out. We're going to do a few tests with this here can launcher. Let us know what you guys want to see, because we're going to do some home defense tests. We're going to see how the penetrating power is with a can out of the can cannon, build some fake walls.
We will not do that with a golf ball.
No.
I have done it with a golf ball, and it makes you run.
Does it bounce back?
Yes.
The golf balls. I want to see what the deadly force would be if a home intruder came in and, after offering him a beer to help mend fences or mend bridges, and he declines, what the lethality of shooting said beer at his head would be.
Shasta.
And then if I need to be concerned about my neighbors on the other side of my cinder block wall. So that's the plan. If there's anything else that you guys want to see us do with the can cannon, I do also have the golf ball adapter, which I believe is the proper diameter to launch flares out of.
Mm.
Yeah. I think
what's more fun to launch out of stuff like that is racket balls.
I don't think it's too. This one's too small for a racquetball. This one's too big.
I know,
but I'm thinking if we find something sizable enough. I mean, it's around the 4th of July, so I mean, if we find something sizable to stick down here, and like get a 4th of July smoke bomb, just toss it in there lit, send it off. Yeah, I'm thinking that might work. Or we'll just blow the crap out of a couple things. But I do also need blanks. So if anybody in the chat has a line on blanks, let me know, because everybody here is sold out.
Hey, you just got $61. You should be able to find
I
some
did.
blanks somewhere.
That's true. I should buy better.
Order my mag carriers.
Right?
Hey, wait a second. What? Paid for my mag carriers. No, I would love to get some blanks. If anybody had the damn things. Which
Did you check it?
Four guns?
No.
Applied?
No.
Rule King.
Rule King doesn't.
How does he know?
Yeah, how did you know?
You live in Indiana. There's Rule King there. We don't have it though, which I'm sad. But I could go drive and go to one.
Did you check at X Products? Because they usually sell a bunch of blanks.
I did not. Actually, I buy them from F5 anyway.
Okay.
F5's got they've got them on their site, or they did. Do I still have their site up? Nope. Ruble. Let's find out how much they cost.
Although I found my favorite store, if I have to go to a store, is go to Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You can find everything there.
We used to have a Farm and Fleet, and it was an awesome store.
It was.
What was the extras they sent with that?
It was the golf ball launcher.
Okay.
Which is like an additional...
Not so much my drum.
Correct. Not the drum yet. I'm working on it. Oh, I typed in instead of F. There we go.
Whoa, Kathleen, that's too far.
Oh, what'd she say? Oh, Kath. Okay.
I would shoot it at baby kitties, but I would not shoot baby kitties out of it.
They're cats.
I mean, you could egg somebody's house pretty well with the egg.
Ooh, Kathleen said cow dung. That would be pretty good.
Sorry, did you say cow dung?
That's what she said.
You're keeping it home after that.
Locke was this many years old when he found out that Kathleen is an evil person.
Oh.
Her name's Kathleen Music Lover and not Kathleen Kitty Lover.
Right. Locke actually said something earlier that I kind of agree with. Said there will be a lot more criminals with guns after new casual gun owners get them stolen. Which, yeah, I agree with that.
Harry, that is a good movie, too.
I love that movie.
Except for the, 35 rounds that Mark Wahlberg shoots out of his single-stack Ruger 45 without a reload. But other than that, it's a pretty good movie.
I mean, it's on par for Hollywood gunfight scenes.
Yeah.
I think the only one realistically now is maybe John Wick, but that's because he's got a quad load and he doesn't have 33-round sticks all the time.
They do have them in stock there. They're M200 blanks, too.
Harry, I looked it up. I might have to give it a watch.
Oof. Blanks are 50 cents a piece.
Why are blanks
50 cents a piece?
Because I'm pretty sure I told you that before we went down this road.
They're missing half of themselves.
Yep. And they're twice as much.
That's dumb. It's a good
thing.
On a good note, $60 on live chat.
The price of blanks hasn't gone up.
No, but apparently there was a bum rush on them at Four Guns. I had heard that Four Guns had them. I went in today to pick some up, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I think so." Walked right over, not a single one. It was sad.
You should be able to launch tennis balls out of that too.
Yes. Yeah, tennis balls will fit out of the big one. That's what she said. Wait, what? Yeah, Jacob, blanks cost more than live rounds, and it makes no sense. Maybe it's additional machining or that they've got to do it specifically for blanks, but that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry, reading the it's like buying non-alcoholic beer. That is a very good.
Although Heineken non-alcoholic beer is actually pretty tasty. It's pretty good.
Yeah, how much does it cost compared to real beer?
I don't know. I didn't buy it, so
it's more.
But it's got Neil Patrick Harris to deal with, so I'll buy it.
Kathleen says, just for the record, would never shoot baby kitties, but baby squirrels are okay. How about rabbits? Baby rabbits?
No, rabbits are too cute. Maybe
Oh.
chipmunks. You can shoot chipmunks.
Okay.
Ground squirrels for sure. Full-size ground squirrels.
Right?
My sons this evening found a plus low volume. Wait, I'm lost now. Oh, blinks are taller brass crimp at the top. So that's probably a special item. Yeah, probably. So my sons found a dead chipmunk tonight. And my younger one, he's holding a rock and a stick. And he holds up the rock, not the stick. He holds up the rock and goes, "Dad, I'm going to hit it with this." And I'm like, no, don't do that. And he goes, "Why?" And I'm like, because then you're just going to want to go pick the rock back up. And no, you're not doing that. And so he goes, "I'm going to throw it." And I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Yes, I am." 4-year-olds just don't listen.
Nope.
Have to keep an eye on that one.
He ended up not throwing it. So that was after they spent about a half an hour trying to hit a bird in the top of a tree with a stick. There's a bird sitting up in the top of a tree in its nest, guarding its eggs, and they just threw sticks at it the whole time. It was a dove, though, so I don't care. They just crap on everything.
Yeah, they do. Well, Harry, the only reason I drank it is because I was over at my uncle's, and he had to stop drinking regular beer, but he likes beer, so he offered one to me, so I took it. So, but I do like bourbon over beer.
And now Manny's addicted to non-alcoholic beer.
No, I could care less about beer. I took it because he offered it, but bourbon is tasty.
No, Pistol Pete says to add a shot of grain alcohol to your beer.
Mm-hmm.
He would drink wine or bourbon without alcohol.
Isn't wine without alcohol just like grape juice?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he means like including the taste rather than just grape juice.
Ew, Kathleen. No,
Kathleen's
thank
on
you.
Man,
On the
she's on a
cat
roll
trip
tonight. Jeez.
I bet Kathleen's an angry cat lady just inside, but doesn't want to admit it.
Locke could drink rum and coke without the coke. That's man, you're making quite a sacrifice there without that coke in there.
I don't know. Well, it depends on the rum. I mean, if it was Bacardi rum, yes. But I'm not a Captain Morgan fan. But I don't think you drink work. Builder, do you drink on
No.
occasion?
Nope. Never had a drink in my life, actually.
Wow.
That's
No
impressive.
desire.
Very seldom, but I do like to drink.
Yeah, no. I had my time. I did my days of that way back in the when. Now I'm old.
But see, I mean, I'm younger than both of you, but I've never went through like a partier phase. I'm more of a casual drinker. So, like, if I've got people over, I'll drink. But if
Are
I'm
you
at
younger
home-
than both of us?
Yep. I'm
How
only
old are you?
25.
Oh man, you are young.
Mm-hmm.
Color me old.
What are you talking about? Work's older than you.
By
Yeah,
a lot.
now builders getting a taste of how I feel.
Oh, my wife complains. She says, like, you act like a freaking 40-year-old. So, it's like, oh, whatever.
That's all right. You're just practicing. You're going to
See,
be
Harry, I
really
didn't
good
even
at it
do
when you
that.
actually turn 40.
I didn't even get to go to like parties before I was 21 because no one liked me in school. So, because I was smarter than a lot of people, but I was too damn lazy, and no one liked me socially. So,
I did
That's
parties in college, but I didn't drink, and that was so much better because I remembered everything the next
oh
day.
yes, you can watch the idiots when you go to like a frat house and you watch everybody get crap faced, and you're like, all right, he's gonna throw up in like a minute. And it's weird because I went to this one frat house in college, and literally like this place was so jankily built. Like you could get lost, and the floors were all crooked. It was a sketch place, but that's where all the good parties were at.
I went to school on a dry campus, so we did it in my resident director's apartment.
Nice.
Ooh,
Lot says 40 is great, perfect excuse to make big dollar purchases. The wife has to allow it. Midlife crisis. It's the law.
Yeah. I don't know how it is down there in Indiana for you guys. What is already opened back up?
Almost
'Cause-
everything.
Yeah.
because our governor finally opened up most of it, but we still can't. Like restaurants will be at 50% on Monday, but like you still
We've
can't
been
get a
like that
haircut.
for either 2 or 3 weeks now.
I think we just finished the second week of 50% restaurants.
Okay.
We opened up on May 15th where we started the process, and they're going in, pieces where, but yeah, we've been, I think, 2 weeks with 50% in restaurants, and we're supposed to be opening up completely by July 4th or on July 4th.
Churches are supposed to open up this Sunday.
That's good. I haven't really looked into what my governor has released because I don't think she's got a brain, so I just try to
You live
stay
in
off
Michigan?
it. Yep. I'm only about 3 hours north of you guys, so.
I knew you were close. I just couldn't remember if it was Michigan or Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
You're wishing it was Wisconsin right about now.
I can't be a Cheesehead fan though.
Well, and then you're close to Madison. Madison had the riots, way worse than we did.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen one protest in my little town, and that was held at like the post office, and they blocked the street, and I was kind of mad because I had to get to work. So,
yeah. Did gun shops have to close up with you guys?
No, they were part of what Whitmer deemed as the defense industry, so they get to stay open. The big gun range about an hour and a half away from me that I like to go to, where I get some pretty smoking deals. I pay like at MSRP, not above it. So
nice.
But like the local shops around me are all price gouging, so I won't buy there. But they have the indoor range, so if I needed it, but I shoot outside now, so F them. They shut down their range and they could only let 5 people in the building at a time. So you had to wait in your car for most of this stuff. So you'd get on a list, and you couldn't go in there and like peruse. You had to be going in for a purpose, like buying a gun, doing a transfer, or you had to be by yourself. You couldn't take like a family member with you. So if someone wanted to buy a gun but didn't know having any experience, they couldn't get your help. So it was kind of like I didn't go, and I didn't have any money really to spend during quarantine. I mean, I worked through the whole thing, so life for me really didn't change because I'm at home or I'm at work. Mm-hmm. So
I took 2 weeks off just when everything was starting. But after that, I've worked through the whole thing. And we're back in working in people's houses and stuff.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I mean,
like I said, my boss got it, and he was sick for a day.
Yep.
His daughter got it. His daughter and his son were working with him. His daughter got it. She didn't even know she was sick until the next day, when she was like, "Man, I was sick yesterday. Maybe I should go get tested." Huh. And then his son got it as well, and he just didn't feel good for like 3 days. And after that, we were like, "This is stupid. This is dumb."
Yep.
No, Jacob, I do not shop at Cheaper Than Dirt. Them assholes are price gougers. No, I just had other commitments, and I've been saving some money, so I couldn't go buy anything. Nor was I looking for anything really. So,
yeah, I stopped in at one of our gun shops today, and they were limiting it to like, I don't remember if he said 2 or 3 customers in the shop at a time, which is crazy low for the size of the shop. Like, it's a good size shop. I'm guessing it's because they don't want more people at the counter than that, but I didn't even.
Last time I was there, it was 1 customer per person.
Yeah, there were way more than 2 people there.
Good night, Harry. Take it easy, man.
See you, Harry.
See you, man. Have a good night.
I like the way he's thinking.
Yeah, I know. We'll probably cut it off pretty soon here. But Builder, the reason that I was in said shop is I did get a forward assist for the for the launcher. So we are good to go as soon as I can find some freaking blanks.
Yeah, we were talking about that. My buddy, I showed him the picture of the upper before we got it. He's like, that doesn't come with a forward assist. He's like, but you don't need it. So
yeah, I just didn't like the idea of having a big hole in the side of the gun.
It'd be interesting if companies actually made like plugs, to take the roll pin and just be a plug. It'd be kind of nice.
That would be nice, actually. I have used forward assists, though. In my blackout, when I had it, if I was trying to quietly load around like you would if you were like, out in the field.
Hunting.
The 1 year that I took that out hunting, it didn't like to rotate the bolt in, so you just tap that a couple of times and it'd close it up. So I see the use of forward assists.
Myself, on the other hand, when I was hunting with my 7.62 AR, I just
Funk.
let the bolt go. I got a deer.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Speaking of deer, like tonight when I got home from grocery shopping, literally a deer in my side yard, and I live in like this town, and there's a park across the street, but this deer was 5 feet from my window, and it's just like looking at me, like literally creeping on me through my window. Like, what you doing?
Jeez.
But my dog gave no shits. He was just like, I'm gonna go eat my food now.
Okay, when everybody else sees deer and stuff at their house, does anybody else automatically think, I really want to shoot that?
I've got a herd in my little area. There's a little pond, like half mile up the road. Mm-hmm. And this pond, there's a herd of 5-6 deer that wandered the neighborhood, and it's been a pain in the ass.
I mean,
they eat all my vegetables and they crap in my yard. I'm pissed.
If I had a deer in my backyard right now, I'm pretty positive that if I popped it, it would be taken care of within a day.
Your neighbor would be like, hey, cool.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, you want to have a deer? And he'd be like, yep.
See, I'm in the middle of town. So where my in-laws live, they live in a wooded section of town. And they get deers walking through their yard all the time. And I look at them back there and I'm like, you look tasty. But right. I can't do anything about it.
I mean, to be fair, the only thing that I could really shoot a deer with at night would be my suppressed 22. And then I don't know if that's a smart idea.
No, that just piss it off.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that have killed their fair share of deer with the 22.
Mm-hmm.
My brother-in-law took what was it? I feel like it was either a 5.56 or a is it 243?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the two of those. Andy, you or Bill or whatever, you know this brother-in-law. Oh
yeah, I do.
He had shot a deer just because he could. He was like, he said it came out and he sighted it up and he's like, I can get that in the head. And then he said he thought about it for a minute and he's like, well, with this round, I mean, a hard shot will stop it, but I could hit that in the head. So we did it.
This sounds familiar, except I did not hit it in the head.
No, you did not.
I hit it right in the ass.
Yes, you did. Not the best shot I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the worst shot that I've seen.
It was standing there looking right at me, and I pulled the trigger and I missed its head, shot it in the ass. It flopped over and died.
You did hit it, and you did kill it.
I did kill it.
So it beats some other times, but
one shot, one kill with that rifle.
Darn straight, literally. I got to get more than one day this year.
Yeah.
Weren't we gonna get more than one day this last year, and things just fell apart?
Yeah, you were gonna go opening day with me or something, and then you didn't.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened. Kids probably got sick or something like that.
Probably.
Kathleen says ass shot works.
It did.
It did. It died. And actually,
how far did it run though?
It didn't. It flipped over dead. I shot it in. What it was is it was facing me, and I missed the head because maybe I was a little cocky, and I shot it right in the spine, and it just paralyzed it, went in shock, and it died.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised at how quick that went.
The thing that sucked was it was standing right next to another deer, so I dropped it where it stood. That's why I wanted to do the headshot, and then it's a Remington 700, so I, opened the bolt. The other deer's just looking at me. Pull the old round out, put the new round in, close the bolt. I'm like, well, let's make this happen. So I pull up on the other deer and I'm ready to shoot it. And then the first one flopped a little bit and the second one ran away. But it was like, dang it.
Unfortunately, not towards me.
Yes. And then the big one that was with them that I didn't see was on the other side of the fence.
Damn that fence. That fence is way too close.
Yeah, they weren't on that fence this year.
All right. Well, we'll give the chat one last chance to get any of their stuff in while we kind of close it down and shut it down because it's getting a little bit late and I am tired. Manny, what time zone are you guys on up there?
Eastern. We're in Eastern
Okay.
Standard.
Well, I asked that, but then you go down to Kentucky. Is it Kentucky or Tennessee? I think it's Tennessee is on Central.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Or is it half? Maybe half the state's on a different time. I'm not for sure, but
I don't remember. I'm going to Google that really quick because survey says, yeah, it's half the state. Actually, it's over half the state. It's 2/3 of Tennessee.
that's weird.
Yeah, they're weird. They're weird down there.
Well, I guess that's fine. When I think that I feel like Kentucky and Tennessee are like stacked on top of each other equal, but it's not really because Tennessee's more like skirted over.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because Kentucky's like a diagonal, but
Wait, what are we bringing interwebs to Builder for?
Oh, I'm on the computer now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got it. He got everything ironed out.
he
That's
just
why
needs to
he
fire it
gets
up a little bit sooner.
See,
But
he
apparently
said
I owe 10 bucks for
interwebs,
Uh-huh.
but he meant mag carriers.
Oh, right. Actually, that'll cover almost one of them.
What? Oh, $10. Okay, I was thinking we made
Yeah.
like 70. What? $2?
70. Yep.
Yep.
Which thank you again to everybody in the chat. As always, we don't expect the chat. Well, I can't even think of the words tonight, man. It's been a long day. But super chats, that's it. We don't expect the super chats, but as always, we greatly appreciate them because they help us out big time on the channel. That'll probably go to blanks and apparently a mag carrier or two.
Yeah, Project Taco Truck is not done yet. Gotta get
Project
that.
Taco Truck is almost done.
Yep.
For I still okay. We need, if anybody in the chat is like super creative, we need a stamp of a taco truck, but
Whoa!
inside the taco truck on the side, a gun.
Whoa!
What?
No, you put it on the holster. Get a sticker, a taco truck
Yeah.
sticker.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a sticker of a taco truck with a gun inside the taco and stick it on a holster. What's wrong there, Builder?
I like how we agreed to this.
Were we supposed to agree to this?
Or we're gonna writ dye your grips so they look like lettuce.
Something.
Because you can't find grips yet for that. Because I looked like that one day I said that. I looked for hours and I couldn't find shit.
Lock
There's
or
one company
LOK,
that sells
whatever
them.
they are.
Mhm.
Locke says that they've got some.
There's one company that sells them, and it's Hayes Custom Guns,
Ah,
and all they are is the factory grips that are different colors.
nope, don't want that.
No.
The factory grips honestly aren't bad. Maybe we just need to dye those green. No, they got to be red because you're going with that red theme.
but-
Or we could leave them black.
Or
Right,
white because
tomatoes
it
are
needs to
red.
have sour cream. You need sour cream on a taco.
Oh, there you go. Or poop brown for the taco meat.
Yep. Oh no, you dip the frame. You hydro dip the frame brown.
I don't like you people.
Hey, it's a themed gun.
No,
Taco
it's
truck.
done.
That's the thing. It's not a themed gun. Here's how that name came about. I was voice to texting, and instead of TAC Ultra, it autocorrected to Taco Truck. That's why that name exists.
The only thing that gun needs right now is a new set of sights, and it is 100% done.
That gun is sweet, and you were just gonna run over me in USPSA with that gun.
I was popping clays at 100 yards with it on Sunday.
What are your splits with that one?
I didn't mess with them.
Oh, you need to.
I shot one mag out of it just to say I did.
I check your splits next week because I have a feeling you may be able to get down to a 1.6 to a 1.5 with
Well, after Saturday, I'm going to swap the holster,
that. Oh, right.
and then I'll run a bill drill with it.
there's your 2.2 bill drill.
1.9.
All alphas.
I did 2.8 today, and I was pretty happy with that.
I'm not. We're not going to talk about mine.
I haven't done a build drill in a while. I
I
think
did a 2.8 all alphas.
That's
There you
impressive. 2.8 all alphas is good.
Cold.
See,
and then when
mine
you get bored,
good. What's up, man?
and then when you get bored with the taco truck, we just get it milled for a dot, and you can go shoot open.
Oh my
I wanna
gosh,
do
that if it wasn't so expensive, man, that's expensive.
GoFundMe for builder.
There we go.
Pours open.
Yeah, so builder, I do want to help you feel slightly better. My 2.4 build drill was not cold. I had been shooting
Oh, that's
a
okay.
lot that day.
Yeah, I'm happy with a cold 2.8 build drill.
I agree.
Especially all alphas. That's very good.
Yeah.
Considering that on Sunday my cold was 4.03, so it
Yep.
got a little bit faster.
I want to see what it'd be like with the 34. I'm honestly curious about that because I mean, don't get me wrong, the 17 tracks well, but the 34 tracks better.
I'm wondering which one I'm going to shoot first, the 34 or the 45.
The 45.
Probably, because you're going to have the 34.
Oh, I will, won't I?
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Ooh.
And yeah,
you
by the
even
way-
get your optic back for just a split second while you're putting it on one of my other guns.
Right? Maybe I'll just keep one of the guns as collateral.
Oh, that's not fair.
Ooh,
I won't
Jacob
do
makes a good point. Choco tacos.
Choco tacos.
Because they're like black.
No, they're ice cream, which makes them better than tacos.
Right. But it's like a black shell and then with like white ice cream, and we could just say that the big enormous magwell on the bottom is the ice cream. And then
There
we
you
could say
go.
it's done and not put taco stickers on my gun.
No, they're not going on your gun. They're going on the holster. Speaking of stickers on guns, I just found out today that High Point is actually on my marketing list. So
Yes.
who else thinks that I need to get a High Point and just stick gigantic googly eyes on both sides and put a World War II fighter like shark mouth on the front of it? The builder thinks so.
Okay.
You have to do the Taurus curve cut on the front of the slide, though.
Don't know if that would work.
I have end mills.
Oh,
Pop the
man.
slide off and just.
Oh, Kathleen says no. That makes me sad.
And then send it back.
Right. Hey, I sent this back. Something's wrong with it.
I can't take it apart for some odd reason.
That's Jacob says, yeah,
That's the worst part is they have great customer service.
they do. I feel like that's like the best, the only reason to like really have a High Point, like for an honest gun owner, is to do something so absurd that you would never do it on a different gun. Like googly eyes.
I had back in the day before I was even old enough to buy a gun, I had a High Point 995 carbine, which is one of the few acceptable High Points.
That's true.
And it did not come with the rail on top because I bought it used. It just had the rear iron sight. And we ended up called High Point. They paid for the shipping, sent me the rail that was supposed to come with it and a free mag.
Nice.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah, no kidding. Heck yeah. That's how the Yeet Cannon came to be. Somebody got a High Point just to do something screwy to it. All right, well, with that being said, we will go ahead and shut it down for the night. We're coming up on 2 hours, so let's go ahead and kill it. Manny, where can they find you?
You can find me right here on YouTube as the channel Manny Things. Or if you like the Instagrams, I am at mi_Manny, where you see myself, my food pictures, and my cute corgi.
You have food pictures?
That is a cute
Mhm.
corgi. My wife said
Yep.
I'm not allowed to get one.
Oh, he's expensive. He was very expensive. But
Builder, you have enough dog.
After that one meets his
Oh, okay.
demise,
All right. We're taking a break from dogs for a while.
we are.
so you're gonna get a chinchilla.
I'd like a chinchilla. What? They think I'm Mexican. Anyway, Builder, they can't find you places.
No.
Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at Wildcat Valley Rifle Pistol Club Saturday morning, slanging lead.
Thanks for rubbing that in, jerkwad.
out of a Glock 17 Gen 5 MOS front serrations.
What holster are you running?
The blade deck.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like my Blade Techs.
I do too.
All right.
I had a
and
Blade Tech holster. It was not bad.
they're okay holsters for what they are. You're hard pressed to find a store-bought holster that's the same quality for a competition holster.
I have 3 and they're absolutely fantastic. I have no complaints about them at all. And they have a lifetime warranty.
All right. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at /WorkTheTrigger. So thanks again, everybody. Yeah, that's the chat for tonight. Thanks again, and we will catch you next time.
Adios.
Later, guys.